There are many reasons why this Democratic National Convention is becoming Donald Trump's worst nightmare. And one of the main reasons, too, is you have all of these GOP leaders and former Trump officials who are at the Democratic National Convention and saying that voting for Vice President Kamala Harris is the patriotic thing to do. On day 3 of the Democratic National Convention, we heard from Olivia Troy, for example. She was a top Mike Pence advisor, and she spoke at the DNC. Let me play for you what she said at the DNC, that it is the patriotic thing to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris and end Trumpism once and for all. She worked in the administration. Here, play the clip.
4 years ago, I resigned from the Trump administration. As a Republican who dreamed of working in the White House, it was a hard decision. But as an American, it was the right one. I saw how Donald Trump undermined our intelligence community, our military leaders, and ultimately our democratic process. Now, he's doing it again, lying and laying the groundwork to undermine this election. It's his MO, to sow doubt and division. That's what Trump wants, because it's the only way he wins. And that's what our foreign adversaries want, because it's the only way they win. As a national security expert, y como latina, y hija de una inmigrante mexicana que realizó el sueño americano, being inside Trump's White House was terrifying. But what keeps me up at night is what'll happen if he gets back there. The guardrails are gone. The few adults in the room the first time resigned or were fired. I grew up in the kind of working family that Trump pretends to care about. Conservative, Catholic, Texan. July 4th was our most sacred holiday. Those values made me a Republican. And they're the same values that make me proud to support Kamala Harris. Not because we agree on every issue, but because we agree on the most important issue: protecting our freedom. So to my fellow Republicans, you aren't voting for a Democrat. You're voting for democracy. You aren't betraying our party. You're standing up for our country. Thank you.
And by the way, as we highlight here for you, these patriotic Republicans who are denouncing Trumpism and saying to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris at the DNC, I would be remiss if I didn't show you this. This was captured right here on the MeidasTouch network exclusively, where Mike Lindell, the pillow guy who was advising Donald Trump back in 2020 and 2021 how to overthrow the results of the free and fair election, he shaved his mustache and tried to go undercover at the Democratic National Convention. And he went up to an incredibly talented young individual by the name of Noah. And he tried to debate Noah, and he was trying to yell at the 12-year-old Noah, and Noah put him in his place. Watch this.
That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
They just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind. You should.
So your source is trust me, bro? That's your source?
The source. It's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news. No, this is your Georgia news. This is your Georgia. Thanks, buddy.
Have a good day, sir. Let's keep walking.
And that's what the Republican Party has become. It's a sad thing to see that this once proud party has become this Mike Lindell, Donald Trump mutation of its former self. The best bacon, the best steak, the best chicken, the best salmon you'll ever eat, it's not going to come from the grocery store. It's going to come from the family farm and independent Alaskan fishermen. And now you can get it when you join the Moink movement today. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did, and as a result, Moink meat tastes like it should because the family farm does it better. And the Moink difference is a difference that you can actually taste. Unlike the supermarket, Moink gives you the total control over the quality and source of your food. You choose the meat delivered in every box, like ribeyes to chicken breast to pork chops to salmon fillets and much more. Plus, you can cancel it at any time. And I love that Moink is helping save rural America. Join the Moink movement today, and you'll never turn back. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted, and Ring Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff jumped at the chance to invest in Moink. Plus, they guarantee you'll say, oink, oink, I'm just so happy I got Moinked. I know I do, and you will too. Keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch right now, and listeners of our show get free hot rolls in your first box. It's the best hot rolls you'll ever taste for a limited time. It's spelled MOINK box.com/MeidasTouch. That's moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch. One more time, moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch. So here we have Jeff Duncan, the former lieutenant governor of Georgia. Here's Jeff Duncan giving a speech again on day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. Again, saying the patriotic thing to do. He goes, if you're a Republican, it's not that you're voting for even a Democrat. You're voting for the betterment of the United States of America. And that's a message that's going to resonate with mainstream Republicans and independents. Watch Jeff Duncan. Check it out.
Good evening. I bring greetings from the great state of Georgia. So let's get the hard part out of the way. I am a Republican. But tonight, I stand here as an American. An American that cares more about the future of this country than the future of Donald Trump. My journey started to this podium years ago when I realized Donald Trump was willing to lie, cheat, and steal to try to overturn the 2020 election. I realized Trump was a direct threat to democracy, and his actions disqualified him from ever stepping foot into the Oval Office again. I could spend my time revving up this crowd, but I'm certain I don't have to talk anybody out of voting for Donald Trump here. So I'm going to focus my attention on the millions of Republicans and independents that are at home that are sick and tired of making excuses for Donald Trump. If Republicans are being intellectually honest with ourselves, our party is not civil or conservative. It's chaotic and crazy. And the only thing left to do is dump Trump. These days, our party acts more like a cult worshiping a felonious thug. Look, you don't have to agree with every policy position of Kamala Harris. I don't. But you do have to recognize her prosecutor mindset that understands right from wrong, good from evil. She's a steady hand and will bring leadership to the White House that Donald Trump could never do. Let me be clear to my Republican friends at home watching. If you vote for Kamala Harris in 2024, you're not a Democrat, you're a patriot. In our family, my wife Brooke and I are raising 3 boys, and we have a family motto. And it says, doing the right thing will never be the wrong thing. During 2020, during just the lowest of lows, when we had armed officers outside our house protecting us from other Republicans, Donald Trump had targeted us. My son came downstairs, and he handed me this coaster that I'd given him years before at a father-son retreat for our church. And he said, hey, Dad, doing the right thing will never be the wrong thing. Stay strong. To my fellow Republicans at home that want to pivot back towards policy, empathy, and tone, you know the right thing to do. Now let's have the courage to do it in November. Thank you, and God bless you.
You know, and then one of the things that I really enjoyed watching as well is this sheriff from Texas. And the sheriff said, you know, when Donald Trump lines up behind these cops and tries to act like that's law and order, he stands in front of the cops and the cops stand behind him. He goes, that's bogus. Donald Trump is the opposite of law and order. Let me tell you what law and order really is. Watch this.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that. Not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out. I may be paraphrasing a bit. We protect them. Now, the border sheriffs that I know, right, and we're like Kamala. We protect and serve. We enforce the law. We show compassion. And we fight like hell to protect our border. Because as we've always known in Texas, cuando luchamos, ganamos. When we fight, we win.
We'll keep you posted with more developments here on the MeidasTouch Network. We are close to 3 million subscribers, folks, so hit subscribe. Let's get there together. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.
I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of Roe v. Wade.
I was by my stepfather after years of... At age 12, I took my first pregnancy test, and it was positive. That was the first time I was ever told, you have options. I can't imagine not having a choice. But today, that's the reality for many women and girls across the country because of Donald Trump's abortion bans.
And in many ways, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
He calls it a beautiful thing. What is so beautiful about a child having to carry her parents' child?
Ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Like the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. We will move forward.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.